Hello and welcome to Female Cricket Live, powered by Radio. The match number 5 of the 2022 Commonwealth Games will be played today between India and Pakistan at Edgbaston in Birmingham. The match will start at 3:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time and you can catch all the live action on DD Sports, Sony 6 and Sony Live app. But before we start previewing match number 5 between India and Pakistan, let us have a quick look at match number 4 that was played yesterday, that is 30th of July, between England and Sri Lanka, which England went on to win by 5 wickets. So batting first, Sri Lanka posted a modest score of 106 for 9 in 20 overs, with Nilakshi De Silva playing her 50th T20I, top scoring with 25 runs. On the other hand, it was Sophie Eccleston, who is the world number one T20I bowler for England, picked up 3 for 25 in her 4 overs and was the most successful bowler for her side. In reply, England completed the formalities in 17.1 overs thanks to Elise Capsey, who started with the bat, scoring 44 runs. While for Sri Lanka, it was their left-arm spinner in Inoka Ranavira who chipped in with 29 for 3 in 4 overs. Now ahead of us, we have match number 5 between the arch rivals India and Pakistan. And to preview this match, I have with me Sonia Dabir, Neha Shetty, Dhanush Lavanya, and Anish D'Souza. So Sonia Dabir is a former India player and is presently the coach. Then we have Neha Shetty, who is a cricket follower and a cricket podcaster. Then we have Dhanush Lavanya, who is a cricket content writer, cricket analyst, and a cricket podcaster. And finally, we have Anish D'Souza, who is a cricket follower and member of North Stand Gang, which is the sports enthusiastic community of Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. So I welcome all of you to Female Cricket Live.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having.
Great. All right, so Sonia ma'am, let us begin with your first thoughts on India-Australia game, the first match of the Commonwealth Games. What are your thoughts on it?
Actually, it was a very interesting match. I will say the way Indians played, especially batting first, they had put up a decent score also, and bowling. You when you have Australia 49 for 5, definitely they should have won that match for sure. But the way Ashley Gardner played, it was really amazing. This is the way Australia play. Even if they have lost those 5 wickets, the way they come back is the most important thing and the X factor, I will say, for the Australian team. I think the match after 49 for 5 or for 100 for 6 Australia, they still India could have won that match. But I felt a bit bowling lapses last few overs. We just lost the game over there, I think.
Okay. So, Anish, we all know that Australia was struggling 49 for 5, and almost, I think, India had closed the game. But then Australia came up with that surprise package, and Grace Harris and Ashley Gardner, of course. So, what are your thoughts on Australia's depth in their batting?
Oh, they always have this never say die attitude. Whenever they are like up against everything is against them, they will uh, so uh, get go deep and play out of their skins and try everything to win it. We have seen that many times from Australia. Yeah.
So, Dhanush, on the other hand, Pakistan, they also played their first match. It was against Barbados. They lost the match. We know that India also lost their match. So, how do you think Pakistan is going to approach this match against their arch rivals India?
Definitely, it's going to be a very important game for Pakistan and India because the team that wins today will have their chances to go to the semi-finals, but the team that loses will be eliminated. So definitely, India will be the clear favorites coming in because the last match that you saw between for Pakistan against Barbados, it was a it was a match for them to win in a way, is what I think, because they started off really well. The top three played their parts. They were giving them good starts, even though they lost early wickets. But I feel there was that intent of being aggressive and scoring quick runs. And they were like 3 overs, 18 runs. They had the run rate in a good stage itself. But Bisma Maroof, I guess, became a thorn in that run chase, is what I feel, because she just halted the proceedings, and the whole aggressive mindset that they had when the innings started was completely watered down, and they were 48 for 5, 48 for 4 or something at the end of 10 overs. So they needed like 95 runs in the last 10 overs, which was a big ask also for Pakistan. And with the quality of seamers that Barbados had, I think it was an impossible one, and Nidadar tried her best, but it was not good at the end of the day, is what I feel.
Right. So I think just a few moments back, we received an update on our screen that Nida Dar has been ruled out of this match because of the concussion. So Neha, how big a loss is that going to be for Pakistan?
I think it's going to be a massive loss. Nida Dar is the X factor for Team Pakistan. She brings in so much to the table with her all round abilities and everything. And even in the previous match, she played really well, even though, the rest of the team was collapsing around her. So losing her is going to be a massive hit to Pakistan. And I will be interested to see who's going to replace her.
Right. So then I'm moving on to India, of course. Harmanpreet Kaur, she top scored with 52 runs against Australia. But if you look at her wagon wheel, right, 46 runs were scored on the leg side. So what do you think of this play from Harmanpreet Kaur? Do you think that is a positive sign, or you think she should exploit more of her offside play?
Yeah, I think that is definitely a positive sign as far as Harman is scoring. I feel because Harman is such kind of a player. Today the last match you've seen her score on the leg side. Today you might as well see her scoring on the offside. She is a complete package. I guess only she knows when which shot she will be playing. So I don't think there's any much to think about how Harman played or which side Harman played. But as everyone knows that she is a seasoned campaigner, she is leading the side and she is in her best form. She's got the form from the Sri Lanka series. So definitely, I don't think that's a issue which she will be thinking much about which side of the wicket she's scoring. As far as she's scoring those runs, Indian team should be fine.
Absolutely. I think she was the player of the match in the Sri Lanka series, and I'm sure she must have taken that confidence from the series into the Commonwealth Games. However, if we are still on the topic of Harmanpreet, Dhanush, let me ask you that Pakistan, I'm sure, must have seen the India Australia game, and they would have seen how Harmanpreet Kaur was batting in that game. So do you think the Pakistani bowlers will target her in specific areas to stem her run flow in the leg side?
Yeah, definite. I think so because if I'm not wrong, she sweeps a lot for to score her runs. So the spinners will have a good opportunity, is what I feel, where they can vary with their pace, with the line and lengths, and also and try to make her sweep as much as possible and keep the fielders in the fine leg and long leg region so that they will be there for to catch if the ball comes in that in those directions. So I guess that's one thing that they can do because one big negative with players who are good in sweeping is if the timings goes off, you will lose your wicket in a blink of an eye. So that might be a thing that Pakistan spinners will be having a look into. Apart from that, they need to be prepared for the rest of the batting unit as well. Even though it was Harman who got the major spotlight, there are the rest of the women like Shafari Verma also got a good start in the previous game. Smriti Mandana is also someone who has good records against Pakistan. So I think it's going to be a good affair between bat and ball amongst these two sides.
So Anish, apart from Harmanpreet Kaur, India has the likes of Jemima Rodriguez, Harleen Deol, Yastika Bhatia in the middle order. But one name that was missing from the last match was that of Sabineni Meghna. So do you think Sabineni Meghna should make her way to India's playing 11? And if you think so, who could she be replacing?
I looked at her record, and I don't think she will be included in the side because her strike rate is just 100 in 2020. So I'm not sure that she should be included in the side. And also, it has to be taken into account that today's match is a must-win match. So also, India would have to win by a big margin. So we need a big score. So we need like all the batters who have a high strike rate. Yep.
I think according to Anish, maybe S. Meghna could not be there in the playing 11 and India may continue to feature the same batters in the middle order which we saw against Australia. However, Neha, moving on to you, we saw that Jemima Rodriguez, though she got off to a start, but it was a slow start. She scored 11 runs off 12 balls against Australia. And Harleen Deol came much later than Jemima Rodriguez. So do you see India tinkering with their middle order, maybe pushing Harleen Deol up the order, given that she had a good start?
Right. So although Jemima did get a good start, she couldn't quite capitalize because the Australians were just looking to attack and get that crucial wicket. But I really think that the team management shouldn't tinker with the combination, right? Because Jemima is good at where she plays right now, And Harleen Deol is, an attacking good option, but she should be brought in when there's just like 4 or 5 overs left and you really need quick runs. That's when you slot her in, because Jemima's natural game is not like to just go bang bang right from ball one, but Harleen's game is like that. But again, when you want to like build partnerships and steady the innings, I think having someone like a Jemima in the middle order really just helps stabilize the innings, and probably bringing in Harleen later on would be ideal.
So Neha, you feel that maybe India should stick to the same middle order, given that it is going to be a do or die match, and of course it is against Pakistan, their arch rivals. So Sonia ma'am, one of the names that was missing, and I don't know whether you were surprised, but I was surprised to see that Sneh Rana was not a part of the playing 11. What do you think of that? Sneh Rana not being a part of playing 11, and do you see her making her way into the team today?
Definitely, it was a big surprise, and I would love to see her today playing, because she is one player who can come in and bat at any position, and she can open the bowling. So you've got that new ball of bowling option with Dipti Sharma as well, and she is one bowler, who bowls that Yorker length consistently. She is a very good T20 bowler, and definitely I would like to see Sneha Rana coming in, maybe for Harleen Deol, if at all, because similar type of players, you can use them in any batting order. But definitely I feel Sneha Rana holds an upper hand because of the way she's been playing the T20 and the one day games.
Okay. So Dhanush, head-to-head statistics, if we look at Pakistan, they are trailing by 2 to 11. India has won 9 matches. Pakistan have won 2 out of the 11 T20s that these two sides have played. Do you think that will be going on in Pakistan's mind, or they'll play some fearless cricket, given the fact that it is a do or die match for both the sides?
I don't think head-to-head stats come into play when you are going into a game. It's just for us cricketing fans to discuss and have a talk about. But apart from that, when it comes to the match, it's going to be how you play on the field. It's going to be your preparations. It's going to be your showcasing of your skills, and it's going to be just making sure that you go and present yourself and you play in the way that you are natural at. And if the things go well, even if you are able to counter attack to your opposition's place, then you are going to end up in the winning side. But it's important for Pakistan to play as a team unit, because Nidadar made the major amount of contribution in the previous match. With the ball, she was very economical. With the bat, she scored a half century. The other batters like Omema Sohail, Alia Riaz, who have good experience behind them, they need to step up and score some big runs. Also, Bisma Maruf must work on her strike rate, because that was a death nail in that match. Otherwise, I felt that Pakistan would win that match pretty comfortably, which they lost eventually. And in the bowling attack as well, they have a good combination of Fatima Sana, who is an exciting, promising talent, just 22, 23 years old, and she has been really good over the last couple of years that she has been in the international circuit. Anam Amin is one other name who is also a very experienced player. So these girls will have to do their job, go, and they have played against India as well, so they might be pretty knowing what how India's game plan would be.
Yes. I think, as Dhanush has mentioned, some of the big names from the Pakistan team, including Bisma Maroof, the captain, Anam Amin, Mudima Ali also. And we cannot forget the young Tuba Hassan, the leg spinner from Pakistan, who won the ICC Player of the Month in the month of May, which was her first month in her international career. So there are many good names in the Pakistan team, and maybe they could give a run for the money to the Indian players today. So, Anish, moving on to you. India played Yastika Bhatia as a wicketkeeper against Australia. We all know that she's not a specialized wicketkeeper, but yes, she's pretty handy behind the stumps. According to you, is it a good move by India, or they should try somebody like a Tanya Bhatia, who we all know that is a wonderful wicketkeeper?
Yeah, I think Tanya Bhatia would be a good choice because we didn't get to see any catches or any stumpings that Justika Bhatia had to do. But Tanya Bhatia would be a good replacement. I would think. So we can go for a specialized wicketkeeper instead of a part-time wicketkeeper in a must-win game.
Interesting point, Anish. Let us see what the Indian team management thinks about this, the wicket keeping position. So Neha, in the last match, of course, against Australia, we saw India opening the bowling with Meghna Singh and Renuka Singh Thakur. Renuka Singh Thakur had a phenomenal day with the ball, picking up four crucial wickets. Do you see India going ahead with the same bowling combination as in opening the bowling with two pacers, or do you see somebody like a Dipti Sharma opening the bowling, given the fact that Muniba Ali, who is a left-handed batter from Pakistan, is going to open the batting?
Right. So I personally think that it's best if they continue with two paces from both them, because Renuka Singh had such a good match and Meghna Singh had an off day, but it's better to have paces from both the ends, at least till the power play ends. But if Meghna has an off day, then it's good to bring in someone like a Deepti or even Rajeshwari Gaikwad for that matter into the bowling, right? Because last time around when India and Pakistan squared off, Rajeshwari Gaikwad was successful, picking up some crucial wickets. She got four wickets, right? So she can be, that game changer in case, during the power play, we need those quick wickets. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
So,
I
Sonia,
also sorry,
yeah.
but I also want to add that Pooja Vastrakar is now fit to play. So it'll be interesting to see if she's bought into the team. I
Right.
would think that she should be bought in the team in place of Rajashri Gaikwad, and Sneha Rana can be in place of Radha Yadav.
Interesting changes that would be. But I think I was just reading an article whether Pooja Vasrakar will be available for the match against Pakistan. However, I feel that she'll be available for the match against Barbados and not against Pakistan. But fingers crossed, in case she's able to make her way into the playing 11 against Pakistan, I'm sure we all of us here out as the Indian fans would be very happy to see her. All right. So, Sonia ma'am, according to you now, we touched upon India-Australia match, and you said that there was something lacking from the Indian point of view when they had Australia struggling at 49 for 5. So, what are some of those areas that India will have to work on going ahead in the tournament?
I think, as I mentioned before, that consistency in the line and length should be the one thing which they should be focusing, and cutting off the boundaries. Bowling those more dot balls. I've been saying this since long time, but it is the most important thing when you play a T20 game. You just focus on dot balls, bowling those dot balls, and that automatically creates a pressure. One thing I'd like to add when we were discussing about the playing 11, definitely if Pooja Vastrakar is available, she should be making way in the playing 11, because she is one person who, again, is handy with the bat and with the ball as well. She bowls that old ball also very nicely. She has those Yorkers and the slow bouncers, which will definitely be very helpful. And one more thing I would definitely like to add is Pakistan is been playing very good cricket. They've beaten Sri Lanka. They have the series win in one day as well as T20. So even if Nida Dar has been unfortunate not to play this game, no game in T20 especially should be taken lightly. Even though we definitely have that upper hand looking at the stats and all, but as rightly mentioned by Dhanush, that it's a T20 game. You just cannot take. Anyone can have a great day, and things may change. So we that too in a must-win game, especially today, India Pakistan.
Right. And add to it is the pressure of do or die, and of course the India Pakistan contest. So, Sonia, just let me ask you that I know that you have played one T20I for India against Pakistan. So, if you can tell us, how is the atmosphere when India takes on Pakistan?
Oh, that is, you don't need any pep talks. It things just automatically have happen when you're going to play against Pakistan, and off the on the field banters and everything. Those that goodness, it automatically comes on when you play against Pakistan. You don't need any what you can say. This is the way you have to bowl. This is the way you have to do. Nothing. It just the things just go automatically when you are playing against Pakistan. But definitely, it's the game which most of us enjoy playing. Of course, everyone play, even Pakistan players must be enjoying playing against us.
Right. So let us hope for a riveting contest between these two teams in today's match. Of course, the do or die match. Before we start taking up questions from our fans, maybe a couple of more questions from my end. So, if we can start with you, Anish, what are the key matchups that you're looking at for the India Pakistan game?
And I would say Renuka Singh Thakur against Bisma Maroof. But it also should be noted that if Renuka Thakur has a good start, the mistake that Harmanpreet did in the last match, that she bowled Veronica's overs out at the start only. Like all four overs were completed at the start. She didn't reserve any overs at the end, which were required at the end. So that is a key factor to be noted.
It
So I
will be
would also,
interesting to see, yeah,
yeah.
how
Uh,
Harmanpreet Kaur uses Renuka Singh Thakur, whether in the power play or perhaps in the death overs as well. Dhanush, any key matchups that you're looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to see how Fatima Sana will be bowling against the likes of Shafali Verma and Smriti Mandana, the opener. Since she's also someone who comes up in the power play situation, I feel it's going to be a good head-to-head where youngsters like Shafali and Fatima will be facing it. And they are like two really good T20 players. Fatima being a good T20 bowler and Shafali being an extraordinary aggressive batter. So it's going to be a match that I'll be looking forward.
Interesting. Now, maybe let us move on to the predictions, which is, of course, my favorite part of the discussion. Neha, I would like to put you on spot first. What do you think?
Right. So if we have a look at the head-to-head, Pakistan has just won what? One T20I against India in their last five meetings. So a win for either of the teams is, better standings in the CWG table as well. And a loss obviously puts either of the teams on the brink of an early exit. Now the team winning the toss might, opt to bat first, considering the trend we have seen. And, the Indian women batted first. They did put up a considerable total and they were bowling well. But, Australia being Australia did stuff. So I think they might be looking to bat first again. But Pakistan, on the other hand, lost their game to Barbados, batting second. So they too might seek to bat first. And needing to win this match is going to be very important because India and Pakistan need that one win to keep their hopes alive. I feel that India will come out on top in this match. And Pakistan will give a good fight, no doubt about that. And yeah, let's just hope for the best.
Let us hope to see an exciting brand of cricket played by the two teams, India and Pakistan. So, Sonia ma'am, I would like to have your predictions, and maybe after your predictions, if you can tell us more about the pitch and how do you assess the conditions at Edgbaston.
I think definitely rightly mentioned by Neha that Pakistan will definitely give us a good fight. As I mentioned, that they have a series win behind them, and looking at India, it will be very interesting who they play, the Indian management, because if you have Pooja Vastrakar coming in and also Sneha Rana, Meghna Singh, and if they you know think of playing three pacers, it will be very interesting to see how they manage, because I've heard that it's been gloomy and a bit of different weather conditions as far as the Australia match or the yesterday's match is concerned. But I think it will be very interesting. One more thing I'll like to add is how India chase, because Indians, whatever I know, Harman, she likes to chase. Putting up a big score. Of course, toss is not in your hand, but whenever I've seen Harman talk, or I've heard her saying that she is a person who likes to chase. When know have the runs on the board, how much to chase, that she's more comfortable in that. Looking at the wicket, I think wicket won't be much of a different, because but definitely, if I've heard that it's drizzling over there, so little helpful for the pacers. It will be very interesting to see Diana Baig also, who is a good bowler for Pakistan, who's a brilliant player. She's done good for Pakistan previously in the Sri Lanka series as well as against India. So looking forward to a good battle, I will say.
Right, right. So there was some disappointing update on our screen few moments back that the covers are on at Edgbaston, but fingers crossed. Hope we get a complete day of cricket today, and it is the India-Pakistan do or die match. So let us hope for the best. All right. So if we can start taking some questions from our fans. Right. Steve Carl is asking us, do you see Snehrana come in for someone like Meghna Singh to strengthen the batting? It is a day game, so a spinner too will be effective. Sonia ma'am, what do you think about this?
I would definitely want Sneha Rana to play, but I don't think she'll be playing for Meghna Singh. I think she might replace Harleen Deol. She might come in for Harleen Deol, because, as I said before, that these two players are similar players. Very good, but experience-wise, or the way Sneha Rana bowls, I think she has that little bit of upper hand, and she might have come in for Harleen Deol instead of Meghna Singh.
All right. I hope Sonia ma'am was able to answer your question, Steve. Okay, can we have the next one? The Wheel of Time has a question for us. Can the panel assess if we have locked in a couple of finishing options and last over specialist bowlers? Can the panel analyze specialist fielders? Neha, would you like to answer this?
Sure, yeah. So with respect to finishing options, I think Harleen Deol is your perfect fit there because she in the previous match too showed what she's made of. She's getting those quick runs and everything. And Harmanpreet Kaur too can be that option if she lasts the test of time through the innings, right? Last over specialist bowlers, as I think one of the panelists too did mention, how Renuka Singh Thakur's 4 overs were exhausted right at the start. I wish they had kept her for the end too because she would have been a crucial one there. So I feel she can be that last over specialist bowler, and if Meghna can get her line and length right, I think she too could be one of those players to watch out for. And to talk about specialist fielders, I think Team India is blessed with good fielders at the moment. We have Radha Yadav, we have Jemima Rodriguez, Harleen Deol, Yastika too, puts in those good dives. So yeah, at the moment we are a good fielding unit, and I see even Shefali, do those odd jumps to catch the ball and everything. So yeah, at the moment we do have good fielders.
So I think, according to Neha, India perhaps has a well balanced side in place. All right. So can we have the next question? Hania Khan is asking us. I just don't see how can Bisma Maroof be asking from others when she herself is struggling for runs and consistency. Isn't she over projected? Got the long rope as well. How do you pundits see it? Danush, would you like to answer this?
Yes, Bisma Maroof at first place. She is the most experienced player in this current Pakistan setup. If you see, she has been playing since like 2008, 2009. She has been in the frame of Pakistan's team for such a long time. And apart from her, it's I guess only Nidadar is the other name that you can say that has played such a long career for Pakistan. And definitely, you can put in some questions on her consistency or her run scoring ability. But I feel that with the experience that she has, there might be situations in certain matches where you need that kind of an approach, where you need to be defensive and try to score runs and not lose your wickets. And though in those situations is when Bisma comes into play, and but in the T20 format, it's not like that. It is more suited for the ODI format. But certainly, it's not her T20 career might be in a limbo because of the way she plays, and there is no other replacement to replace her as well. So I don't think so. It won't be happening. But it is a question that I can't give a complete answer where I can say this is right or this is wrong. So I would just say that she has to just make sure her strike rate is on the good side, so that the team doesn't get into pressurized situations like how we saw in the previous game.
Pretty honest answer, I think, from Dhanush. I hope Hania Khan, Dhanush was slightly or more or less able to answer your question and rather give his perspective on that. All right, I think we have a couple of more questions coming up. Okay, Singh is asking us India is opting to play an aggressive brand of cricket. Are they missing out on assigning someone to play anchor's role? Not to forget the mini collapse in the opener. You don't want that on a big day. Sonia ma'am, what are your thoughts on this?
uh, I would just add to what Dhanush said about the previous question. Bisma plays this kind of an anchor role when there is a collapse in between middle overs. So definitely, and getting those quick runs or not able to score those quick runs is just part of the game. And she's a very brilliant cricketer. She coming back from after having a child, she's done really well. For this question, I will say that Harmanpreet does that role of an anchor as well as an aggressor very nicely. So, uh, comparing this last match, I think there was definitely a bit of collapse in between. So that's the reason I feel if Sneha Rana is in the playing 11 or even Pooja Vastrakar, these two will help the can perform the aggressor role, and with that Harman will be able to play that anchor's role as well as the aggressor role very nicely. There will be a balance when if someone like Pooja who can rotate the strike well, who can hit long boundaries or long sixes. So I think if Sneha Rana and Pooja Vastrakar comes in, then there should be a good balance in the team, and Harman will be the person who will be playing both, will be able to play both the anchor's role and the aggressor role nicely.
According to Sonia ma'am, Harmanpreet Kaur could be that player who plays the role of anchor as well as aggressor as the need be. Okay, I think we have one final question from our fan. Okay, Linda James is asking us, could today's game be a cakewalk for India given Pakistan doesn't bat well enough, or do you see Pakistani spinners trap Indian batters and restrict the scoring? Anish, what is your thought on this?
I don't think today's game is going to be a cakewalk because it's going to be Pakistan are going to come out all guns blazing to for India because it's a must win for them as well. So we will have to be on our toes and look at things, take things very seriously, and also not to forget that to try and post as big a score as possible, keeping the net run rate factor in mind as well. So for the fact that spinners will try and trap the Indian batters, that the as we mentioned before that Hamanpreet is very loves to play the sweep. She'll have to take care of that factor as well. So I
Right.
guess this game is not going to be a cakewalk.
Absolutely. Even I feel that, and maybe most of the members in the panel here feel that it could not be a cakewalk for the Indian team, and both the teams are going to put their heart out because it is a do or die match. Team winning this match will have a stronger chance of making it to the semi-finals. So, all right, thank you once again to Sonia ma'am, Neha, Anish, and Dhanush for sparing out their time and talking to us and previewing the match between India and Pakistan. The match will be played at Edgbaston in Birmingham, and it is scheduled to start at 3:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Though we had some bad news that the covers are on at Edgbaston, but fingers crossed, we all want to see a complete day of cricket and, of course, the riveting contest between India and Pakistan. So we'll be back again today at 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time to preview the match between Australia and Barbados. So do join us for a conversation tonight at 9 p.m. IST and send us your questions using hashtag Female Cricket Live. Thank you.